Be replayed each week from 11:30 to noon on Sundays on Beaver County Radio. Archived Best of Beaver County videos can be viewed on the WBVP WMBA Facebook page. It's your chance to encounter the best of Beaver County with host Mike Romai this Thursday starting at 11. For more information, visit beavercountyradio.com.
You're listening to Beaver County Radio, coming to you live from the Fry Transportation Studios. Beaver County Radio and Fry Transportation, a winning team. 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP, providing news, sports, and information for 76 years.
You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, in addition to 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls. Welcome to the Best of Beaver County, presented by St. Barnabas, a weekly segment dedicated to putting the focus on the amazing things and the amazing people behind them in Beaver County. The Best of Beaver County is sponsored by and content is provided by St. Barnabas. The show airs every Thursday from 11 to 11:30 on WBVP, WMBA, 99.3 FM, and Facebook Live. Now, with no further ado, let's welcome host Mike Romai to introduce today's program.
Well, we say it's the most wonderful time of the year, and it truly is. This time of the year is so special, and we have a special guest on that just kind of brings royalty to our studio here today for the Best of Beaver County radio show on the St. Barnabas Radio Network. Aubrey Bowman is our guest. Aubrey is a distinguished young woman. And I know a lot of young women like to say that about them. Well, my daughter's a distinguished young woman, but she truly is a distinguished young woman. She's a distinguished young woman for Beaver County and for the entire state of Pennsylvania. She resides in Chippewa. She is a senior at Black Hawk High School, and she got time off school today to come and visit us. And Aubrey, we appreciate that, and the folks at Black Hawk and your teachers for letting you come here. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right. Is this an exciting time for you?
Yeah, pretty exciting.
You're a senior.
Yep.
And this, you became the distinguished young woman of Beaver County back in May?
Yep.
It 2024?
Yep, this past May when I was a junior.
Okay. All right. And, how does that make you feel?
I was kind of surprised, honestly, when I won, because our program wasn't really well known before because just like funding it started back up in Beaver County this past year. So it was kind of unknown, but my mom helped me find it. So I was able to sign up for it. And we had a lot of girls like drop out. So by the end of it, we only had like 3, including me, but I was still like really nervous about it. So I kind of just went into it with like an open mind because I didn't really know what to expect with it because I've never done it before. And whenever they called my name, I was pretty surprised, but I was really excited too.
It had been gone for a couple of years. Mm-hmm. It was a mainstay, I think, in Beaver County for a long time.
Yeah, it used to be really big.
Yeah.
And then for the past couple of years, they just had an at-large program, so people who didn't have their county one could just go straight to the state competition to compete.
Yeah. And in Beaver County for this year, how many contestants were there?
We had 3, including me. So one other girl from Black Hawk and then one girl from Beaver as well.
Okay. And you said your mom spearheaded this time around, which is a good thing because I was talking with the organization that used to be in charge of it, and I was surprised that they had dropped it, and I didn't know that Beaver County didn't have a distinguished young woman for some time.
Yeah, we just started back up this year. It was hard to get some funding for it because of the scholarships. They're trying to really help the young girls, so it's hard to find sponsors as well.
What does it mean? Can you explain what it means to be a distinguished young woman? What are some of the criteria that they have?
For Distinguished Young Woman, we have this program called Be Your Best Self, which are 5 pillars for like distinguished young women, and they are be healthy, be ambitious, be involved, be responsible, and be studious. So if trying to combine all those really, I think, is how you be a distinguished young woman. But also for me, just being a role model for young girls in my community and other communities, just to show them stay in school, keep working hard on your grades, really hone in and try to find something you're passionate about, to work on your talent, and just really inspiring everyone around you.
It's inspiring, and because you're a senior, that means you're very young, from my standpoint. But there was a time, even when I was in school, that all those things that you mentioned, how you stand out, that would have been frowned upon for
Yeah.
women in our society. They would have said, yeah, maybe you want to take home ec and, learn how to change diapers and all those things. They really didn't want women to have the kind of role models that you're talking about.
So DYW is really just trying to empower women, young women especially, just to be the future leaders of our country and the whole world.
Do you think you can make a difference?
I hope so. I think I can.
You think your generation
Yeah.
be able to make a difference?
I think just with our open-mindedness, I feel like we're really accepting of others, and I think that will take us far and be more progressive in the future as well.
Mm-hmm. And, so many people, say my age and even younger, people who are in their 40s, and so, they're so critical of the younger generations, always has been. And so it's nothing specific to your generation, but as you get older, you go to work and things like that, we start to look down on younger generations and say, boy, whatever happened to those kids? Who's raising those kids and all that stuff?
You always hear the back in my day kind of thing.
Right. And what do people think? What do people your age think when you hear that from grown-ups?
It's kind of just like an eye roll. It's like, yeah, whatever.
Because so many things have changed, and I think for the better. And I think that because I'm in the media business, and the media tends to kind of like look to things that are negative. Anything, we have a saying in the media business, especially news, if it bleeds, it leads. Mm-hmm. So that means the worst story is going to get the most attention, and it really kind of overshadows all the good things that are going on. What is the Blackhawk graduating class of 2025? What do you think of the future in terms of everybody? When they graduate from high school, it's a big deal. You're taking a big step.
Yep.
And when you look around your classmates and your education so far, what do you think the future holds?
Well, I think personally, with just the rise in technology and our age, I really think that is going to push our generation forwards, and just trying to take advantage of that, I think will help us be better in our careers and just be more aware of how things work in general. I think it will help us. Yeah,
I think you're right, because just having this conversation with my wife this morning, I'm working on some stuff at my house with my computer and stuff like that, and I haven't been able to figure it out for days now. And so my wife says, just talk to Aiden, my 7-year-old grandson.
Yeah.
Should ask him. He'll be able to fix it for you. And so that's pretty much what it is. When it used to, and I'll go back to the thing where adults have a tendency to say, well, that younger generation, all they want to do is sit around and play Game Boys and do all this stuff.
Yeah.
But it has become so important to your age's life that you can seamlessly go into a career because of these things that you did in your childhood.
It also just makes it a lot easier for us to promote ourselves just by posting online things that you like, things that you're able to do. I think showing that to a broader audience just like puts yourself out there more.
Yeah. And so with the Distinguished Young Woman contest, the three of you, who did you have to impress?
Well, we have a panel of 5 judges that they bring in. Some of them were alumni that competed in before, and just people from other aspects of life, so then we can get a more well-rounded review. And they're judging us on 5 criteria, which are scholastic, so GPA, test scores. We do an interview with the panel of judges that happens before the competition. And then the on-stage portions, we have talent. So for me, I did dance. We had piano, some people sing, acting. And then we also have a fitness section, so we do a fitness routine, a lot of push-ups, which I was not really pleased by. You gotta show you're strong, I guess.
Do push-ups.
And then we also have a self-expression section, which is they ask us a question. You have like 30 seconds to give your response and your opinion on that issue.
I can't imagine that you could go through, you could ace all those other categories, but you couldn't do 5 push-ups. And they say, well, yeah, that's not going to happen. You're going to lose because you can't do push-ups. That's a horrible thing.
You got to be well-rounded.
Yeah, I guess so. Is that part of the athleticism?
Yeah.
Dance wasn't good enough for them, huh?
No, you got to show that you're really healthy.
How long have you been dancing?
Since I was 2.
Wow.
And then I started competing when I was 7. So a long time.
What kind of dance?
We do a little bit of everything. My favorites are contemporary, jazz. I'm also starting to like hip-hop a lot. I've been increasing in that. We do a lot of ballet, tap, which I do not like at all, and lyrical, literally anything you can think of, that's what we do.
I know a guy, and I think he's from Beaver Falls, but I'm sure his daughter graduated, I think from Blackhawk at the time. His name's Rob Pisano, and his daughter just opened up a dance. It's actually a place where you compete.
Yep.
Do you know
Yeah,
about
the
that?
dance fall, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of new studios opening around. Dance is becoming really popular in Beaver County.
Well, yeah, and even high schools where they have competitive cheering, things like that. So
yeah.
they're stepping up their game a bit
Yeah.
as far as that's concerned. And you attended you do attend Paula Scriva
Yep.
Dance School in Center
Yep, I've been there my whole life.
from 2 years old.
Yep, and my sisters went there before, so we've been there a while.
Okay. Now you have older sisters.
Yep.
And yeah, how was that relationship between you and your sisters? You come on at 2 years old. They're a little bit older than that, and they'll say, "Why do we have to take her with us?"
No, I think it's fun. Like my sister Sydney, we're really close in age. So before she graduated, we were like dancing together. So I'd be like, "Hey, watch me do this. Hey, can I show you a trick?" That's mostly how it goes. But they're supportive, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And there was in the last Olympics they had break dancing.
Yeah.
Did you ever do break dancing?
No, we don't do any breakdancing. Maybe one day, we'll see.
Yeah. But through the dance school, and so since you've been there for, 10 years now?
Probably more than that.
More than that? You attend all the parades, you get to march in the parades?
Even when it's cold, we're
Yeah.
still dancing down the street.
Okay. What is it about dance that you seem to enjoy so much?
I think I like the art form of it. And also, it helps me just to express my emotions. No matter how you're feeling, you can just dance. And I just like trying to hear the rhythm of the music. And also, just dancing with my friends is a lot of fun. And I love performing as well.
Does it drive your parents crazy?
The dance tuition probably does a little bit, yeah.
I can imagine that. But I mean, loud music. You have
Yeah.
loud music and you're dancing.
Yep.
If you live on in a 2-story house, you're on the second floor.
Shakes, yep.
You're dancing. Turn that stuff down. But what do you hope to do with that in the future? Anything?
I'm not really sure. Maybe in college, joining a dance team or something. I don't know about like career paths for it yet.
Okay. Yeah. Are you thinking about college? Have you chosen a college?
I'm still applying to a lot of colleges. Like they're due January 1st, my final one, so I'm starting to finish those up. But I want to study political science.
Okay. So, a future politician.
Yep.
A future maybe senator, or
President?
congressperson, president. Well, yeah. The sky's the limit.
Yep.
So far, we're over, at least 3 or 4 having a woman president of the United States. Perhaps your time will come.
Yeah, maybe.
Walk right into it. And some of the things that, when you speak to the judges on this, do you get to watch the other candidates
No,
answer their questions?
all the interviews are private.
Okay.
But the on-stage question, yeah, I can see everyone else's.
Is it difficult because if they're asking you about society or whatever, do you have to think, well, let me see how do I answer this because I don't want to offend anybody over here. Don't want to say anything that might turn them off to me.
Yeah,
So.
it's hard to try to find the balance of like trying to please everyone, but also like being true to what you actually believe and still trying to give an answer without just like dancing around it instead. So I always kind of struggle with it too because they kind of just like spring it on you because you don't know what they're going to ask. So I try to just be moderate about my answers a little bit.
Sure. I mean, you're competing, so it's all out there. What do your classmates think about you as the distinguished young woman?
A lot of the times they're like, "Oh yeah, Aubrey, she's so distinguished," whatever. But I mean, I guess I'm flattered. And for a while, I was on like our board outside of our school with my name, and our school website. I'm on there too, so it's pretty cool.
And you get to do exciting things like this, coming on a local radio show. You said you were.
While everyone else is in class.
That's right. But over the holidays now, you just said you're starting to finish up those papers to get into a college. So over the holidays, you're going to be busy.
Yeah, my English teacher probably is really annoyed because I just send him my essays to proofread for me all the time. But he's helping me, so it's good.
Is that the kind of support you get at Blackhawk?
Yeah, our teachers are really supportive. You could just walk into anyone's room and they'll just help you with whatever you need. Even if you're just like talking to them about your problems, they'll listen. They'll try to give you advice.
Yeah. Is this competing and being the distinguished young woman, not only of Beaver County, but the state of Pennsylvania, is it more than you imagined? Did you think that, well, I have a pretty face, I have a nice smile, that'll get me through?
Yeah, it is, because I didn't realize about everything that goes behind all the practicing, all the interviews, and just trying to be presenting yourself all the time and trying to be a role model. It's not really what I expected. I just kind of expected almost like a pageant queen, like, oh, you get your title and you just take your picture, but no, there's a lot more responsibility that comes with it.
Do you have a crown?
No, but I have my medal.
Okay, let me see it. What's it say?
This one,
What's
it
it say on
says Distinguished Young Woman, and then it has all of like the categories: scholastic, leadership, talent. Yep.
Very
So
good.
then,
Show it to the cameras over that way. Yeah.
yep. The state one is silver, and then the county one is bronze, and then if I win the national one, that one's gold.
Oh, okay. So you're still competing for that?
Yep.
Oh, it never stops. Wow. Our guest is Aubrey Bowman. She is the distinguished young woman, not only in Beaver County, but in Pennsylvania as well. And we're going to talk more about that and more about her life to this point and what she has looking forward to in the future. This is the Best of Beaver County on the St. Barnabas Radio Network.
I'm Patty.
And I'm Bob. We're retired, and we live at St. Barnabas in the Village.
We used to have a house.
Lived in it for 40 years.
Raised our kids.
But it became too much. The upkeep, the stairs.
Moving seemed like such a hassle. We didn't even know where to start, so we didn't.
Until we met Cindy at St. Barnabas.
She talked us through our options.
Yeah. And she helped us with our move and all the arrangements.
There was so much stuff. Who knew we had 3 fondue pots?
But she made it easy.
So easy.
Now we enjoy ourselves.
Golf, the pool, new friends, shuttles to where we want to go.
The pub and the food.
So good.
There wasn't a long-term commitment or any large fees.
And they have a healthcare system on campus with doctors if we need it. The kids really like that.
The kids like to come and eat with us.
There's an easier, worry-free way to retire at the Village at St. Barnabas. Come visit us for a free and informative counseling session and personal tour.
I can't believe you waited so long.
I can't believe you waited so long.
Visit stbarnabashealthsystem.com or call 724-443-0700. Best of Beaver County on the St. Barnabas Radio Network. We are talking with Aubrey Bowman. She is the distinguished young woman in Beaver County. And when we first were talking before we came on the air, I was saying, distinguished young woman, one of my colleagues who worked here at the radio station for many years was the voice of our sports department and our sports director, a guy by the name of Bob Barrickman. Used to be very involved with distinguished young women. They categories. I think as far as the voting is concerned, but also the pageantry that goes along with it. He was like the master of ceremonies for a lot of those things. Are there still those things happening with the program?
Yep. There's a lot of like emceeing and just like a lot of organization that goes into it. We have our chairs and all of our sponsors that help to organize the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned scholastics. Mm-hmm. How was your grade point?
Well,
average?
Right now we're at a 4.0, unweighted, so.
Yeah, unweighted.
Yeah.
Okay, so you maintain that?
Yeah, I'm trying to. One more year to go, or half a semester, basically, like half a year to go now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's exciting around the holiday time because after the holidays are over, it's kind of like downhill.
Yep, all the midterms after our break, then finals, yeah.
Yeah, and in terms of the grade point average, has that been difficult for you? Have you always been smart?
I think I have. I don't know. I just think I have a good memory, and that helps me with test taking. Mm-hmm. And I just think I have an easy time, like, focusing in class and, like, staying on task, so that helps me. Like, I don't really think I've ever struggled in school that much.
Yeah, I don't want to compare your scholastic achievements with mine because it wouldn't be a very pretty sight. But there are a lot of distractions when you're a senior in high school.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things to do and a lot of things pulling you in different directions.
Mm-hmm.
But you remain focused on all this.
Yeah, trying to.
Yeah, very good. And your sisters, you have 2 older sisters. Are they supportive of you?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Always sending me texts, be like, oh, how's school? How's this? Yeah, they're supportive.
They don't say, oh, no, she's the favorite because she's so pretty.
Maybe behind my back, but I don't know.
And in terms of the future for you, it's often difficult because there's so much pressure on students, especially when you go to the guidance counselors and people are asking, so what do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to do when you get out of school? And there's so much pressure there. There's no real immediacy to it when you reach that age, and you figure, hey, a lot of people that I know still haven't figured out what they want to do when they grow up. And so was that something that is pressure for you when people say, well, what are you going to do? What are your hopes and dreams?
Yeah, I think it is a lot of pressure for just like 18-year-olds and 17-year-olds to make a decision for their whole lives. That's probably why we see people switching their majors so often in college. For me personally, even from like a little kid, I was telling people I wanted to be the president. But like in and out, I was switching like between different things. But then this year and last year, I was like, no, maybe political science is right for me, because I know I just want to make the biggest impact I can in the future. So being in like the center of our society and the government, I think that's where I could make the biggest impact. So
you must be very observant of what's going on in the world, because you chose political science as a major that you want to get into. So obviously you have some ideas about what's happening around the world, not only in our country, but politically active. Where do you get that from?
I don't know. I think I just find an interest in it, especially this past year was my first year I could vote in an election, because I just turned 18 in September. So this past election season, I was like really trying to do my research just so I could be like well knowledgeable on everything and just dive very deep into it.
Were you disappointed?
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, okay. Well, I tell you, as a man who has a wife, daughter, granddaughter, sisters, I see it, and I think they underestimate women. You know, we've always underestimated women in our society, and when you come right down to it, women are usually smarter and more, I guess, level-headed than men. They always used to talk about women and being too emotional for this job, but men are emotional.
Yeah.
You know, they have that tendency to be. So I look forward to the day when
I think we just need to switch it up a little bit, try
Absolutely.
something else.
Yeah, very good. And what else in terms of the contest? Let's talk about Miss Distinguished Young Woman Pennsylvania. How is that different than Beaver County?
Well, that one was over the summer, and that one was also combined with the West Virginia Distinguished Young Women, because they have a really small one, so they combined it with ours. I think they only had like one person for theirs. And for ours, we had, I think there was 9 of us from all over. A lot of people from Pittsburgh, some people from York, and then I was representing Beaver County. So we all came, and it was like a weekend that I had to stay with the host family up in Pittsburgh. And then we rehearsed, and then it was time for our competition too. So it was like the same categories as the county ones, but just more people, a bigger stage, a bigger audience.
Yeah. What was that like? Because you were competing against 2 other girls here, and then you go to Pittsburgh and you get people from West Virginia and Allegheny County and all over. What was that like?
First, I just didn't really know what to expect. Like, I tried to look at the other girls' like Instagram, see what they're like, but once it's really different from meeting them in person. But they were all so sweet and so kind. We were kind of like friends automatically, because whenever someone experiencing something new with other people, I feel like it's easy to just like make friends. So we kind of like clicked, and it was just like almost just like a big hangout the whole time, it felt like.
Okay. And you said the host parents. Who is that, and how do they get to be host parents?
I think they volunteer, or they like know people through the program. So we had 2. It was up in Swickley Academy, I think we were there. Yeah, so it was 2 families from there that was hosting like 3 or 4 girls each.
And as you represent Beaver County, what are some of the things you're called on to do?
A lot of parades.
Okay.
A lot of
Do you get to
parades.
stand up?
Or usually I'm sitting,
in a
sitting and
convertible and
waving.
going,
Sometimes throwing candy.
Okay.
And then I know in April we have Be Your Best Self Week. So then I'll go into younger kids and just teach them what being your best self means. And also just helping around the community, different events, just serving your community as well.
What is the pressure, peer pressure, be your best self? You go out and you talk to these younger students, whether they're 5th graders or however old they are, trying to impress upon them that it doesn't matter what all this noise is going on in the background.
Especially for Be Your Best Self, like being healthy, it's not just like the physical aspect, but also like your mental health. So really trying to push that just to like be true to yourself and try to find good coping mechanisms whenever you don't feel your best, I think is really important to teach the youth.
That is, I think, an area in which most younger people don't have that confidence to, we hear about bullying and things like that, but the confidence to be yourself and not be persuaded by other people's opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and is there a lot of that you hear about as you go out and you talk about, some of the things that younger people are facing, the peer pressure, the bullying, those sort of things?
Especially like when people are like going to new grades or like switching from like the middle school to the high school, a lot of like cliques and just like feeling not confident in yourself and not really knowing like where you fit in, I think is a big struggle with the youth, and just trying to like find who they want to be friends with, like how are their teachers going to be, just trying to balance their social life and their like school life as well.
And as you go on into college, and you going as far as this year or into 2025, you're going to visit Atlanta.
I'm going to Alabama.
Alabama. Okay, tell us a little bit about that.
So that's at the end of June. The competition is held in Mobile, Alabama, because that's where the whole program kind of originated. So they have a big program down there too. So all 50 states will be represented in Alabama. I'm down there for 2 weeks doing community service, touring, I think the University of Mobile, just getting to know different girls, doing activities around. I also stay with the host family down there. And then we're also rehearsing for the competition. Since there's so many people there, it's like preliminary rounds. So, and then if you make it past that one, you'll do like the final 10 and then 5, and then they'll announce the winner from there.
And this is to be the distinguished young woman of the United States, right? Mm-hmm. Wow. That's pretty heady. That's pretty heady experience. Do you know how many girls will be competing in that?
50.
50?
One from
each
state.
I guess so. I guess that makes sense. See, that's why I didn't want to compare my school background with yours. Couldn't even count that high. But so Pennsylvania, you aced that. And do they have different, I guess, do they have different tasks for you to do in Pennsylvania? Do you have to travel around the counties of the state?
I think I will eventually travel around, and also going whenever we hold the county competitions later in May, I'll go around to those different ones because I know we have one in Lawrence. I might go to the one in York depending on when it is, and I'll be at the one in Beaver County. So meeting those girls as well.
They don't have you going out milking cows or anything like that.
Not yet.
That's a different farm show or something like that. But very good. And some of the people who came before you, some of the other distinguished young women, did they offer you any advice?
Yeah, they give a lot of advice. The last one was Allison Ross. She was from Beaver, and she was there at the state competition, and she was just helping us, giving us advice not to be nervous before our interview, and just trying to like lighten the mood a little bit. So she's a great role model for us as well.
And the people that you go in front of for those interviews, are they mostly guys, or is there a mix? Are they all women because they're judging a woman?
At the state one, I think we had 2 men and then like 3 females. Or no, 3 men and 2 females, yeah. Okay. So they try to find a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and they're not really trying to stump you on anything, right? They want you to be oh, no, yeah, is that true? Yeah.
Whenever they try to ask you about like current issues, that is where it gets troublesome. So
yeah, I understand because I asked you a couple questions and you were very diplomatic about your answers to just say, okay, we'll slide off of that one.
I'm media trained.
That's good. I've been in it more than 30 years. I'm still not media trained. So, and what do you want to do? I know you said political science, college. It's still so far off for you. But these are some of the things that you've thought about. Some of your other classmates talking about. A lot of people, when they get into college, they start to be distracted and drop out and things like that. How are you going to stay focused?
Probably not partying too much. I think that's the key to it. And trying to find good times to study, maybe be surrounded by people that also are very studious and want to study. I think that will help me. Yeah.
And what do you have to say to others who are coming up behind you? If there are other young girls young women who are going to maybe go for this position, they want to compete for the next distinguished young woman, what advice do you have for them?
I would tell them just to try their best and to be yourself, especially in the interviews. Like, the judges want to see who you are. Don't try to impress them or like say what they want to hear, because they'll probably see right through that. And really just work on like your stage presence. Don't be shy. Try to be outgoing and just try, because you never really know what will happen. You don't know what the judges are looking for, so it can't hurt to try. Yeah.
Aubrey Bowman is the distinguished young woman of the state of Pennsylvania and also for Beaver County. You've probably seen articles about her, appearances by her, and we'll continue to see more of that. And we wish you success in all that you do. And it's been a pleasure meeting you. Now you're going back to class at Blackhawk to eat cheesecake.
Yes.
How's
Courtesy
that work
of
out?
my econ teacher.
Well, that's a good thing to have.
Yep.
Yeah? And they're all very supportive of you.
Yes.
Good. Congratulations on what you've done so far, and we wish you the best, and we'll keep following your path.
Thank
to
you.
success.
You'll have to have me on when I'm the president.
Okay, we will definitely. Hopefully it'll be sometime soon because we're all getting older.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Aubrey, for being with us.
Thank you for
Appreciate
having
it.
me.
She's the distinguished young woman of Pennsylvania and Beaver County. Her name is Aubrey Bowman. Look her up. And we thank you so much for tuning in to the Best of Beaver County on the St. Barnabas Radio Network.
Thank you for listening to the Best of Beaver County. St. Barnabas is pleased to have provided content and sponsorship for the program. Tune in this Sunday at 11:30 for an encore presentation of today's program on Beaver County Radio. And next Thursday at 11 for another edition of the Best of Beaver County on WBVP, WMBA, and 99.3 FM.
Falling in love is one thing. Having anxiety about falling is a whole different subject. If you or a family member are concerned about falling, and yes, either up or down the stairs, or maybe even out of bed, St. Barnabas has a special message and some ideas just for you. Years of experience in working with people who are prone to falls has given St. Barnabas special expertise in this area. Call them at 724-443-0700 and learn about ways that you can begin to feel more confident and safe, including suggestions that you can implement right now into your daily routine. Call St. Barnabas at 724-443-0700. For many years now, St. Barnabas has been helping people fall, in love that is, with their new, better life, a longer life, a risk-free life. Call St. Barnabas now at 724-443-0700 or visit stbarnabashealthsystem.com and learn more about living longer and better.
Beaver County Radio's news source. 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and beavercountyradio.com. Here's Noah Haswell.
Good morning, here on 99.3 FM and AM 1230 WBVP. On this Thursday, December 19th of 2024, it'll be cloudy skies today with a high near 36. We will have a complete Beaver County radio weather forecast after we take this look at news. A shooting occurred in Beaver Falls on Wednesday night that killed a teenager. On Thursday morning, the Allegheny County Medical Examiner's Office released a report saying that 16-year-old Darrell Love Jr. died late Wednesday night. Police and EMS units were called to the 300 block of 13th Street at 9:45 p.m. The police of Beaver Falls are currently running an investigation into this incident. On Wednesday, an Aliquippa man pleaded guilty for selling fentanyl and fake narcotics on a darknet marketplace door-to-door. 26-year-old Jacob Blair of Aliquippa admitted to participating in this online mass marketing plan. According to the plea agreement, Blair was responsible for distributing between 1.2 and 4 kilograms of a mixture or substance containing a detectable amount of fentanyl. Blair also distributed between 50 and 200 grams of a mixture or substance containing a detectable amount of methamphetamine. Pennsylvania State Police in Beaver recently reported 3 Beaver County crashes. Pennsylvania State Police in Beaver report they were called to a single vehicle crash that occurred on westbound I-376 in Hopewell Township at 9:25 a.m. on November 29, 2024. 44-year-old Brian Wickoff of Aliquippa was driving a 2017 Subaru Crosstrek and hit both an ice patch and a light post. Wickoff was also driving with 4 passengers from Aliquippa, and all 5 were wearing their seatbelts. There were no reported injuries after the accident, and there were no charges given. Pennsylvania State Police in Beaver report they were called to a single vehicle crash that occurred on eastbound I-376 in Hopewell Township at 7:27 a.m. on November 29, 2024. 52-year-old Peter Tompkins of Youngstown, Ohio, lost control of his 2002 GMC Envoy on the icy roads. There were no reported injuries after the accident, and there were no charges given. Pennsylvania State Police in Beaver report that they were called to a 2-vehicle crash that occurred on Tuesday on 6th Avenue in Coppleboro. At 1:28 p.m. that day, 42-year-old Alexander Narty of Casper, Wyoming, was backing up his 2025 Freightliner trailer to correct it. Narty hit into the front bumper of a 2024 Dodge, driven by 32-year-old Justin Warren of Newcastle. No charges were given, and there was no damage found to the drivers. Business leaders, clean transportation advocates, and other experts say new technologies are helping to accelerate the transition to clean trucks and sustainable freight across Pennsylvania. Mark Richardson reports.
Members of the Clean Truck Pennsylvania Coalition are calling on federal and state leaders to back programs that support the deployment of clean power trucks across the Commonwealth. Jordan Stutt is with CalStart, a nonprofit dedicated to advancing clean transportation solutions. He says the goal is to get gas and diesel-powered trucks off the road.
We are going to take one of the busiest freight corridors in the country, I-95, and turn it into one of the first zero-emission freight corridors in the U.S.
The coalition is urging Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro and state and local leaders to adopt Advanced Clean Trucks Act. Advocates say the act would reduce emissions 50% by 2030 and achieve net zero by 2050. I'm Mark Richardson.
PennDOT announced Wednesday that they will close all photo and driver's license centers on Wednesday, December 20.